And we are live on a special edition of K&K Sports. And boys, we have made it. It's been a long year. And when I don't mean a long year, like I mean a tough year, I just mean a long, like 300 something days long since we lost to those, I don't want to use the word, four-letter word, bag Indiana Pacers. But we're back. Okay, we're back. Kurt Valenti, Kenny Kirkpatrick, and special guest is back, Ryan. But you know what, Ryan? Maybe we're going to do this. You started the season with us, and maybe when you end it, we're holding a damn trophy. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do opening statements. I'm going to go last because I got a special opening statement. I'm going to start, Kenny. We're going to start with our guest, Mr. Miller. What's going on? Give me an opening statement.
Oh man, fired up. I am fired up. I mean, it really came down to waiting that last minute to see who is this matchup going to be, and we've got our long-awaited rematch with a Hawks team that doesn't have many holdovers from the last time, but it'll still feel good getting into this series.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, do you have an opening statement?
I do. We started the season, the East favorites, but long season, like you said. You rest players in today's NBA, and the Knicks fell right in that line. You know, players sitting out, this and that. Well, now it's time to step up. Waste no time. We got the first round matchup against the Hawks. Waste no time. Get right through them, and it's all business in the first round, and get to that second round matchup, which could potentially be the Celtics. But let's go one round at a time. Let's get the Hawks. Let's not overlook them, but let's take care of business quick.
All right. My opening statement is going to be this, and I'm going to steal a line from the great, what's his name? Carton. I can't think of his first name. What's his name? WFAN Carton.
Greg Carton.
Greg Carton, because he said it the other day, and he couldn't have said it better. Am I going to be fired up Saturday? Yeah. Am I going to be yelling at the screen? Yeah. But you know what? We cannot lose. We are going to, one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to have the parade we have not seen in our lifetime, Kenny, and since 1973, we're going to have the parade with the confetti and the championship, or we're going to get Giannis. It's one or the other. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to be happy. I am going to be happy. This is on the roster right now. You want to be in New York? Get it done. Because if you don't get it done, they're gone. Everybody but Brunson is available. They wanted to be together. They're going to, keep us together. This is it. This is it. I don't want to hear the Pistons are frauds. The regular season means nothing. Nothing mattered. Karl Anthony Towns, 40 double-doubles, guys. It means nothing. If he can't get it done now, ship him out. Same thing with OG Anunoby and Bridges. If they're 3-and-D guys, if they can't lock anybody down, if they can't lock Tobias Harris and anybody from the Atlanta Hawks, ship them out. Ship them out. So am I going to be fired up? Yeah. But there's going to be a smile on my face either way. Either way, I'm going to celebrate a championship or I'm finally going to get Giannis. That's my opening thoughts, guys. What do you guys feel about that, Kenny? Give me. Am I crazy? What do you feel? Give me what you think on that statement.
You're not crazy, but everybody's sleeping on the Knicks, and I feel you are too a little bit before the regular season. This team was built for the playoffs. This is where people step up. Bridges, step up. OG, step up. Towns, step up. Bench, step up. It's time to step up. We got a loaded roster. Time to show that roster. Oh, the Knicks in 6, Knicks in 7. No, it's going to be Knicks in 4. And the Knicks are going to show that better put some money on them right now to get to the finals because it's going to happen.
All right, I'm going to go right to Ryan.
And you worry about Giannis next year. This year is still here.
Yeah. Of course I'm worried, but I'm saying it's not like, oh my God, if we don't get it done, we're never going to. No, that's not what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen. But I'm going to go to Ryan, okay? Because Kenny made a great point. I honestly looked at it now, and I mean this, Ryan. The regular season means, we had a coach in Tibbs where he pushed his guys. They played all 82 games. They did this, they did that, and we never got to the part we want. And you know what? Now it's part of the buy-in of, that really doesn't. What does that mean? What do those 82 games mean? Right? But I want to get to you, Ryan. I want your opinion on this. Okay. The Knicks have the best roster in the East, hands down. They have I don't care about the Pistons. They're misfits. I can care less about them. They don't worry me at all. Atlanta Hawks, they don't worry me at all. It's an embarrassment if we don't get to the NBA Finals. Ryan, am I crazy? Like this, we can go with the Celtics, but we're built for the Celtics. We built this team. Leon Rose built this team with the wings, with everything to beat the Celtics, and we beat them last year. So everything else, are you joking? I'm not going to say it's easy because nothing's going to be easy, but the Pistons, the Hawks, Cleveland, dog, come on. Am I crazy, Ryan? Seriously, am I crazy?
It's definitely a year the Knicks are lucky to be in the East. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
You might not be having that same conversation. You're looking at some of those other teams in the West, looking up in the playoffs. But no, you're 100% right. This is a deep roster, built for the playoffs, as you guys said. I fully expect that we'll be seeing a finals game one, including your New York Knicks. Anything else, like you said, blow it up. I don't really want to think about it yet. I want to kind of go series by series, but I fully expect the Knicks should be in the finals. I mean, like you said, there's really no reason. You went with Mike Brown. You made these adjustments throughout the regular season. You got through the regular season healthy. Look at this now. We have a fully healthy team going into the playoffs. I mean, last year you had Mitchell Robinson kind of playing on one leg. Each year you kind of had, somebody limping their way through. I think everybody on this team is fully healthy, ready to go. Let's go.
And I'm going to come back to Kenny on this one. And again, we're going to break down.
Yeah,
I want to get a couple comments. Let me get a couple comments in from our good friend Patrick Wilsey. Aloha, my favorite ranter, Mr. Valenti. I didn't rant at all tonight yet.
Not yet.
Stay caffeinated, my friends. He's
Nuggets
a big fan. He's a big Nuggets
fan. For Patrick, I'll take 10 to 20 seconds because it is a Knicks show. That's a team people are sleeping on. The Nuggets. Yeah. Don't sleep on them. Everybody's saying the Thunder and the Spurs, those two teams picking for the finals.
Good teams.
I'd be surprised if the Nuggets are representing the West. Good luck, Patrick, on your Nuggets out there west. We'll see you in the finals, and then there's no good lucks in the finals.
No good lucks. And our good friend Keith Brugman. Hello, gentlemen. I missed the Giants show, but I'm here for the Knicks show. So, Kenny, I want to come back to you, okay? This is why I think I love this roster, and I think this is what's going to be different, right? You and I have argued for years, especially with Tibbs, when it's like you get to the playoffs, and this is where it's different, right? Teams are going to double Brunson. Teams are going to double Karl Anthony Towns. And then you're going to get, and we've witnessed, okay, RJ Barrett couldn't shoot. Emmanuel quickly couldn't shoot, right? And then we just went from player to player, and they couldn't they couldn't hit open shots in the playoffs. But now, hey, Shamet, Clarkson, McBride, Alvarado, we are, point guard, we need help with Brunson. We don't have to, okay, let's bring a combo guard. We got Jose Alvarado to bring in there, right? We got everything. And I think the difference is the shot making, right? We would cringe, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago when Miami basically said, go ahead, Julius Randle, hit an open jumper. Can't do it. Go ahead, RJ Barrett, and he's bouncing the ball off. We couldn't do it. But now, Shamet, Clarkson, right? This is why I love a guy like Clarkson. Experience, a vet, an older guy. You think he's going to I'm not going to take a shot in a playoff? I mean, that guy, he put up 20 shots and a half. He don't care. But I like that, Kenny. What's your thoughts on that?
Everything you said. I mean, the bench, Clarkson, McBride being back is huge. You gotta outperform the other team's bench. And I think we do have, when everybody healthy, one of the best benches in the league, if not the best. Look at the depth there. These guys can all be starters on any team. Clarkson, McBride, Mitchell Robinson, Alvarado. We got the deadline. There's no reason why, if a starter's struggling, that the next guy can't come up. Sham it, like you said. Like, why can't these guys step up and be, hey, Bridges is struggling, get him out. Get him out.
Exactly.
Bring somebody else in. If OG's struggling, somebody else in. That's it. That's what I want to see, and that's what needs to be done in the playoffs. There's no tomorrow when the playoffs come. There's no, we'll don't worry if you're 3 for 15 today, we'll get them next game. There's none of that. You got to go with the hot hand, and whoever's playing hot on offense and or defense is who you got to go with.
Kenny, you nailed it, and I'm going to go right to Ryan on this because Brown, the one thing I like about Brown this year, he has shown that, Kenny. There's been games, Ryan, where he said, you know what, Mikal Bridges, I don't care you making $30 million a year. You're on the bench. We're going Landry Shamet. Do you like that, Ryan? Do you like that in the playoffs? Like, hey, like Kenny said, you play the hot hand. If Bridges is sitting, OG's sitting, hey, if Towns is sitting, that's what it is.
100%. And let's flash back to the last Knicks-Hawks playoff series. Look at what you were doing with Tibbs. Alfred Payton starting games.
Right.
Just ceremoniously playing, his 3 minutes, and here comes Derrick Rose. It made no sense. I love Tibbs. I was a Tibbs guy, but those things would drive you crazy. And Brown's shown that this year. There's Robinson off the bench, to close, a big defensive position. He's not afraid to put Cat on the bench. He's not afraid to sub McBride in for Brunson on a defensive possession at the end of the game. It can't be about egos in the playoffs here. That to me is a huge adjustment that I've seen that he's been willing to make this year. And yeah, is a guy like Bridges happy about that? I'm sure he's not. But you know what? At the end of the day, if Shamet's hot, if Shamet's, playing great defense, if he's hitting his shots, let him close. Tomorrow could be a totally different story, but you play for that game right there. And I think this team has been coached that way this year. And I think in the playoffs, when I'm curious, the one thing I'm curious about, what number will Mike Brown go with in his rotation? Will it be, a 7-man rotation, an 8-man, 9? He has said 9, I think. I want to say in the post game the other day. I don't know. I that's something I think that I'm very curious to see, what that really looks like. But no, I agree. I'm definitely I'm confident about, Mike Brown's ability to kind of ride the hot hand.
Ryan, I'm going to come right back to you. A good question from Keith Brugman. The strength of the Knicks team is blank, and the weakness of the Knicks team is blank.
I really think we already touched upon it with the strength. I really do think the depth is the Knicks' strength. I mean, when you have Robinson, Shamet, McBride coming off your bench, you've got to feel really happy about that. In terms of a weakness, I feel like sometimes the Knicks could look a little flat in some of these games, right? You're going into a Hawks series where, I'm sure these guys aren't really, they're not the most feared opponent we could be looking at in this series. That's the only thing I'm a little bit worried about is, if Cat's not hitting those threes, at the top of the key, is he starting to, lose that momentum a little bit? What's he looking like? Bridges is a rhythm guy too, right? If he doesn't get off to a good start in game one, that's the only thing I think I'm worried about right now. It's a long postseason, as we've seen the last few years. And, how do you keep all those guys, energized and throughout and, keeping them kind of fully, engaged with what you're doing on the offense? There's been moments we've gone a little, away from somebody in a few possessions. And, Josh Hart, I think I give a lot of credit to, is really great about, there's a game where he'll put up, 10 shots in the first half. There's a game where he won't put up any shots in the first half. And I think the more they could kind of model their game off of that, and a guy like Bridges, you saw it a little bit with Bridges in the second half where you say, my shot's not there tonight. I'm going to make that pass. That's what I'm looking for as well.
Kenny,
I just want to add.
Okay.
Nailed it. Ryan nailed it with the strength, like we covered it on. I'll add one thing on the weakness. If we're in a dogfight, and Kurt knows where I'm going with this, 4 minutes in the game, we're in a dogfight, and you got to take your best defensive player out of the game because he can't shoot a free throw. Mitchell Robinson's a weakness in the fourth quarter in a dogfight. I'm sorry. Love Mitch, Love what he gives us, but he can't shoot a free throw. That's a weakness in the fourth quarter. And then when you're in a dogfight and you got to go with Cat, who's not as good a defender as opposed to Mitchell Robinson playing the defensive guy.
Kenny, I'm going to do this with a weakness. Okay. I'm going to do this with a weakness. And this is actually like kind of an opposite. I would never think, watching the Knicks probably the last 3 or 4 years, or especially when they got Tibbs, when Tibbs came aboard, that, and when I use the word, there's Michelle Venuccio, it's called post-traumatic syndrome from last season. You know what? This is my question.
Kurt, is Jen listening? Because Patrick wants to know if she needs coffee. So
she always drinks coffee. She always drinks coffee.
She can use coffee, Patrick. She can use coffee.
But here's what I'm going to say. Are we tough enough? And when I mean tough enough is, you know what? I'm going to look at a couple of players, because this is the playoffs, right? The playoffs is about, somebody from Atlanta running their mouth. Somebody's going to be getting, a hard foul. Are we going to say F you? Like, I know Clarkson's going to do it. I know Alvarado's going to. Is Bridges going to do it? Is Bridges going to stand up and say, if Brunson gets fouled, somebody get in their face and say, you do it again, see what happens? Is that going to happen? Because you know what? That is, and I know what people say, it's not part of basketball, but it is. It is in the NBA. That's because that's how teams are going to play, right? Their teams are going to go and they're going to wear Brunson out, and they're going to say, hey, when he goes to the hole, hit him hard, hit him. And that's got to get stopped immediately. Just like last year when that J.O. Halliburton's, that should have been, listen, you're going 4 rows in the bleachers. I'll take 2 technical fouls from that. It never happened. It didn't happen. And we let them dance all over the court. Are we going to do that? Because it might not be this round, but each round we face, it's going to be a more physical team. How physical are we? That's what Ryan, am I crazy again? Or am I right? Like, again, the crazy part is I've always looked and said, the Knicks are tough. Do we have enough talent? But we have all the talent in the world. There might not be a better, more talented team in the NBA than us. But are we tough enough? Are we going to step up? Are we going to defend our players? Are we going to stop when there's going layup and dunk? Who's going to put that person on their butt? Ryan, what's your thoughts on that?
No, that's a fair question. I worry about Bridges. I do. I can't sit here and say that I don't. He hasn't shown that he can be that guy. I mean, even on offense, you see some of the soft, going into the paint, too afraid to take the contact. I mean, let's go. It's the playoffs. Same thing to your point earlier. If you don't see that in the postseason from him, and we do fall short, that's a guy that's probably out of here for that very reason. I do think, like you said, this veteran presence on this team of like a Clarkson, I think that helps. Last year, going back to last year, isn't that why a guy like PJ Tucker's sitting there on the bench?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, please get him in the game and knock Halliburton around a little bit. I really do think, Bridges is the guy I worry about in that sense. I think a lot of the other guys, I mean, Cat, gets he's soft kind of comments as well. But, we saw him in that Pistons series last year. He stepped up in moments where he needed to. I do wonder, somewhat tied to this, how much do they run, a Cat and Robinson lineup out there on the floor at the same time? Because I think that changes the physicality of the team a lot too. When Cat is your 5 for these long stretches, I think just, look at the domino effect of what's going on the court. You're already kind of getting soft in the paint. I think that does kind of trickle out to the wings and who's running to cover a double. And, it's this zigzag all over the court. So I think if Mike Brown can utilize in some key moments that like 2 big kind of lineup that he's not been afraid to try, I think that also in some sense, does that make sense? I think it kind of does really change that dynamic of the team as well.
Kenny, I want to go to you, and I'm going to start this with
I'm going to answer Keith's question though real quick, Kurt. I don't think we have one, but the closest to Charles Oakley would be Josh Hart, in my opinion.
It's a good one.
But I don't think we have a Charles Oakley player, a true Charles Oakley. But I would say Josh Hart would be the closest.
Okay, Kenny, here's my point, right? Where and this is what, like, when I am going to drive myself crazy is like Carl Anthony Towns in this series. Again, no disrespect to Okongwu and Jack Land, but listen, you're Carl Anthony Towns. You're making 50 something million dollars. You want an extension of 60 something million dollars. This should be and just like it's a joke. It should be a joke. You should dominate these guys. Dominate them. And if you don't, that's a problem. And if you don't, you have to go. That's it. It's not about, I know our good friend Paul Rosen. Well, we still won 50 something games. Like, it's not about that anymore. This is about one thing now, a championship. Anything other than a championship is a failure. It's a failure. I don't want to hear Mike Brown won. Listen, I could have coached that team to 54 wins. They're that talented. Seriously, they're that talented. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? And Carl Anthony Towns in this, let's be realistic. Throughout the playoffs, right? Let's just say everything holds. He shouldn't dominate Boston centers. I mean, seriously, he should. I don't want to hear Durant, like, get out of here. Come on. The guy, Kenny, your Sky Hook is a better shot than him. I don't want to hear that. And then even like you're Carl Anthony Towns. Step it up. This series against Atlanta easily should be like 27-14. It should be like nothing for him. But I don't want him 47 threes. I don't want that. I don't want 47 threes from him. Get down low. Then, play that game. Ryan, yes, no, agree, disagree. I mean, you're making that money. You better produce. I better not see Carl Anthony Towns 10 points, 8 rebounds. I'm going to lose my mind.
No, totally agree.
Kenny.
Totally agree too, but I thought you were going to go after, maybe you still will. I thought you'd really go after Bridges.
Oh, I am going after, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to look at Bridges' offense because we're paying him and Anunoby, both of them. I remember last year, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and Pascal Siakam had like 38 points. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'll be honest. I don't care if OG Anunoby gets 8 points, but you know what? Your guy better be shooting 20-something%, and you better hold him underneath. He better not be getting 30 points. And I don't care if that's Jalen. I don't care if it's Brown, Tatum, Alexander Walker. I mean, wasn't Alexander Walker like a walk-on guy? Nobody wanted him. All of a sudden, he's scoring 52 points. I mean, that could just be, hey, $40 million OG Anunoby? Boop, 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 shut it down. That's what it's got to be. That's what it's got to be. There's no excuse, Kenny. No excuse. Am I wrong?
No.
I mean, seriously. It's like, this is where these players, is this team better than any Patrick Ewing team? Ryan, go ahead, answer that one.
That's a tough question for me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You know what? We'll take it. We're older.
Yeah.
You know what, Kenny? Talent-wise, those teams had the talent like this team did. They had more heart. They were tough. But talent-wise, who did Ewing have? Ewing didn't have a sidekick like a Brunson. Like, those guys didn't have a 1-2 punch. Kenny, what do you think?
Close, Ewing and Oakley and Starks never had a point guard. Never had a point guard. Never had a point guard. I'm just doing it in my head. I'm going to say this team probably more talented than a Ewing team. Yeah, all around. But like you said, give me the heart and give me the defense and the hustle. Give me the Ewing teams, but talent-wise, this team is more talented.
All right, let's do this. Ryan, give me a key to the series and your most important Nick. The Nick that's going to have to give me the most important Nick in this series.
Let's start with that. I'm going to say it's got to be Carl Anthony Towns. I really think, Brunson needs his 1A. I mean, you've seen Brunson, Mr. Clutch, fourth quarter takeovers, but like you said, this is the playoffs. This isn't the regular season. That he earns that nickname in the regular season because he can, take over a fourth quarter and score 15. You can't do that in the playoffs. You just can't. You're getting these doubles at you every possession. It's just a different game. I mean, we've learned that the hard way. How many series before? I think Cat really has to be the guy to step up. I mean, what version of Cat are you going to get? I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a different player than he was last year in the playoffs. He kind of transformed his game a little bit this year. Mike Breen talked about it on the broadcast a lot this season. There were some frustrating, stretches from Towns, but I think those were some growing pains of trying to kind of, retool himself. And even late in the season, we got a little bit more of this pick and roll game that we really didn't see much action of, all season. Where was that? I think Towns has to step up. He has to, even the dumb fouls and the turnovers, you can't afford, Robinson, is by far, one of the, probably the best center coming off the bench in the league, but you can't have Towns with 3,000, like early in the game.
Good point.
That's what I do worry about a little bit. You know what? Maybe we'll go 2-for-1 here. I think that is one of the keys to the series too, is some of the foul trouble for some of these guys. You worry about that. Just the fouls in general, like, Kenny said before, hack a Mitch, so I think, the free throw line is really gonna, play a big factor in this series.
Kenny, I'm going to disagree with you one thing. I'm going to take offense to one thing you said. You told me that I'm down on the Knicks or I'm not expecting Knicks. No. I'm totally up. Listen to me. Besides Boston, we should walk into that finals. Walk. Just put us in there right now. First Eastern Conference final game is Memorial Day weekend. It's what it should. If it's not, it's an embarrassment. So I disagree with you. My expectations is we better get to the NBA finals or major changes. Not that I'm down on them. No. My thing is, if we don't, get rid of them and go bring Mr. Giannis in. So that's my point with that, Mr. Kirkpatrick. But before I'm agreeing with Ryan. It's Karl Anthony Towns. He has, again, you're a $50 million player. You're the best center in the East. Act like it. Don't play around. Don't jerk around with these guys. Dominate them. The next thing for me, Mr. Kirkpatrick, if we're serious, okay, because you know what burned us the last 2 years against Indiana? Losing game 1 at home. This should be 2-0, go into Atlanta, win 1 in Atlanta, bring it home to New York, and end it. Don't play around. Don't show them right out of the gate. Listen, you got 1 more week left in your season. We come back to New York. If we come back to New York, it's over. You're not beating us in the building. Key to the game, Kenny. Do you think that's important? Kenny, do you think that's important that you win those first 2 games at home and not play with fire?
You can't let this team have any hope. Beat them up in first 2 games. Don't let them get a split in the Garden, win game 1 or game 2, and give them hope. You give a team like this hope, and stupid things happen. My player that's got to step up, not necessarily step up. He's got to be the guy he was all year. It's Jalen Brunson. I don't want to see Jalen Brunson struggle in game 1 and game 2 because everybody else will struggle. That's the problem. If Jalen Brunson struggles, nobody steps up. Jalen Brunson, give me 23, 24 plus a game. We'll be fine. Karl Anthony Towns will be the 1A to Brunson. But if Brunson struggles, you're going to let this team hang around, and it's going to become a dogfight, which shouldn't be a dogfight. We should beat this team up. Maybe give them 1 game in Atlanta. Maybe. But Brunson's got to be the guy he's been all year since he's been a Knick. He's got to get his 23, 24 plus a game and be the guy. And, if he struggles, we allow him to struggle, but we've seen him struggle this year a little bit. Let's be realistic. He's had games where he wasn't Jalen Brunson that we've seen in the past. That can't be in the playoffs. It's got to be Jalen Brunson for me, and then everybody else behind him steps up.
All right, Kenny, coming right back to you. I gave you the key. Give me a surprise Knick in this series that's going to have a big series we're not talking about.
Surprise Knick in this series? What's up, Michael? Michael Ronquillo, Kurt, everybody's friend Michael Ronquillo, and then we'll get a couple comments from Keith after we answer that question from Kurt. Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart's going to be the guy that is going to give us some hard minutes. He's going to be the the enforcer you want, Kurt. If they foul Brunson hard, he's going to foul their guy hard, and he's not going to take any BS from the Hawks beating up our guy. It's not going to happen. So you might not see 20 plus a game from Josh Hart, but you're going to see meaningful minutes, and you're going to see good defense and some good play from Josh Hart that we seen when he first came in as a Knick, when we loved him when he came in from Portland.
All right, mine is going to be Mr. Clarkson. I think he's going to get opportunities. I think teams are just going to go and say, listen, we're going to throw doubles at Brunson. We're going to throw a double when we can at Cat. And if anybody else beats us, especially jump shot wise, go ahead. And you know what? Clarkson's a guy we haven't had on this roster. Kenny, you and I were down the shore last year when we signed Clarkson. What did we say? That's a difference maker. We did not have a guy like Clarkson off our bench. We did not have a guy like Clarkson who could take and make big shots, that could score. And so I'm going to go Jordan Clarkson. Ryan, what about you? Surprise Knick in this series.
I just have to say real quick, because I'm laughing to myself thinking about the conversations we had about these guys, Clarkson, beginning of the year. We were having a conversation before the season opened. Is Brogdon going to come back midway through the year?
I know.
That's a name I haven't thought of. But I'm going to go with a surprise one here. I'm going to go Deuce McBride. I think they really missed him at times this year with the injuries. I think they really wanted to make sure they took their time with him, really to make sure, they got him right. And he's just a spark plug. I think he really, he can hit a three in a big moment like you wouldn't believe. He's shown it, and I think you're going to see some interesting lineups. I think Clarkson's going to get some minutes. I think McBride's going to get some big minutes. Shamet's going to get some big minutes. But I think what McBride's going to be able to bring on the defensive level and be able to hit those open threes, I think is going to be really big. I really think he's going to step up in this series and kind of, to some fans, it might feel like it's kind of coming out of nowhere because, he did miss such a big portion of this season, but he's played with the core. He's missed these regular season games, but he's been around these guys. He's played with these guys. So, I think he's going to step up.
Okay, Keith Brugman saying his surprise player is Mitchell Robinson. So let's do this.
Kurt, real quick. I want to ask Michael a side question. If he's still out there listening, he can answer in the chat. Michael, I know that we're talking Knicks playoffs, but I have a question for you because you're an Arizona Wildcats fan and big fan over there in Arizona. Saw a mock draft today, guys, mocking to the Knicks next year. Krivas, the center from Arizona. I'd like Michael's thoughts on Krivas, if he'd be a good fit in the NBA. What does he thought? If he's out there listening, if he likes him or not.
Okay. Kenny, guys, we got less than 10 minutes because I know Kenny's got to do another pod. Kenny's like the most guy. He does about 8 podcasts.
Oh, this is special. So Tuesday, I'm usually on
we got to get off for Kenny, but let's do this real quick. I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions. Number one, I'll start. Prediction for this series. I think this should be 5 games without a doubt. You win your first 2, maybe you lose a game 3. They're fired up in Atlanta. They'll be throwing free T-shirts out or something. Game 4, you win it. Game 5, you blow them out. You get for the second round. So I'll go Knicks in 5. Ryan.
I couldn't agree more. And like Kenny said, maybe they get one. You might slip and give them one in Atlanta, but it's got to be Knicks in 5.
Kenny.
Give me the sweep. Get the brooms out. I'm serious.
All right.
This is a team that's going to make a statement in this first round. That's how you make a statement. And then you're going to see everybody. We said it here first, Knicks in 4. Everybody's got Knicks in 7 if they get by the Hawks. Next round, they'll all be talking Knicks in the championship, Knicks in the finals, Knicks in the finals. No, Knicks in 4, they're going to make a statement this round and show you why they were the preseason favorites.
I like it. I like it.
You want fired up? I'll give you fired up too.
You know what? And you know what, Kenny? I forgot what I was just going to say now. Damn.
And you know what? It's not a win-win situation. You don't know if you're getting Greek Freak next year until it happens. Knicks in 4, finals are coming. Let's go. That's
all right. Well, you know what? Let's go right back to it. Let's go right back to it, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Do the Knicks get out of the East and get to the NBA Finals?
I think so. And I'm saying it because I'm a Knicks fan, but we said it the whole show. We're the most talented team. We got a loaded bench, which we got Deuce McBride back, who can be a starter on a lot of teams in the NBA or a sixth man on every team in the NBA. And you got him back just in time for the playoffs. And you got a loaded bench. You got Alvarado, Clarkson, Landry Shamet, Mitchell Robinson. There's no reason why with that bench loaded roster, if somebody's struggling in the starting five, the next man steps up. There's no reason why this team can't get to the finals. You look at every other team's bench, and the team is nowhere near the Knicks bench.
Kenny, I'm going to go with you 100%. Well, listen, just my opinion is let's get to the next round. That's the Eastern Conference Final. The two best teams in the East are the Celtics and the Knicks. And you know what? Let's go. We beat them last year. I don't want to hear any garbage. And let me get one thing back to the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks want us, right? That's what I hear. They want, you know what? They want you. Let's go. Let's go, Atlanta. Let's see what you got. You run your mouth. What they're going to, and I said this to Scoops years ago, what they're going to experience Saturday is nothing that they've ever experienced. That Garden, 6 p.m. on a Saturday, game one in a playoff. You're not watching. This isn't like Mickey Mouse League anymore. It's not. You're in the Garden, baby. You're in the Garden. So you know what? Let's see what happens. But getting on to that, 100% they should be in the finals, and they're going to be in the finals. Okay? It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one with Boston, 100%. And then we take on Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals. And you know what? Hey, Donovan, what could have been, I'll always love you. But you know what? It's business. And we walk into the NBA Finals. So, yes, our Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. Mr. Miller.
We will be there. We will be there in the finals. Go back, speaking of the Cavs, go back to the great quote from Jared Allen a few years ago. What was it? The lights were brighter than expected. Which Hawk is going to be saying that after this series? It's going to be one of them. Yeah, Knicks are going to be in the finals. Question is, what's it going to look like from there? We could worry about that when we get there. No, Knicks. I think the Knicks are a lock to make the finals. Now, do you care what Vegas thinks? Personally, I don't. Vegas doesn't like the Knicks going to the finals, which I think is very interesting. But we got our Knicks fan bias. But you know what? Take that aside. Like you said, compare the rosters. It's the deepest roster, probably in all the league. Never mind just the East. It is a deep roster. And Alvarado, we've mentioned him a few times. There might be games he doesn't even get on the court. I really think. I mean, I think he is. I think Clarkson is a little bit ahead of Alvarado right now in Mike Brown's mind. And Alvarado was a nice pickup, and I think there could be games where he's not even seeing the court. So I think that alone shows you right there how deep this team is.
We talk about Alan Hahn. Kenny's like our Alan Hahn. He does get up. He does his Kenny's all over the board.
Keith wants to know what's going to do next. It's a show on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network called The Juice. Trevor Salzman and I doing a football podcast. But Keith, I'm not sure what time because Trevor is probably worse than Kurt when he's being on time. So if
that's hard to do. That's hard to do.
I had asked him if we could push it back to 8:30 Mountain Time tonight, and he said yes. So let's hope it's on at 8:30 your time, my friend, and we'll be on there talking NFL draft, mock draft, Knicks, mock draft Giants for the New York fans and Bronco fans for you, Kurt. We got a mock draft coming up there. New face.
Yeah, awesome to watch the Hornets lose. And he said, screw them and their fake run. I hope he's talking about Atlanta or Detroit. I don't know who he's talking, but I like this guy already, if that's what he's talking about. And then he's saying the Duke chokers strike again. Yeah, like
let's go.
Let's go.
And there's Keith saying the Garden ain't no Pelicans game.
No, it's not. But let's do this. I'm going to start it off. NBA Finals. One team I don't like our matchup against, and it's no surprise, it's OKC. But you know what, guys? I don't think they're coming out. I think it is going to finally be Knicks Denver. And you know what? I like that matchup for us. I really do. We match up very well with Denver. I think Denver gets out of the West, and I'm going to take, you know what? We're going to that damn parade. We're going to that parade. I'm saying Knicks over Denver. Ryan, give me a finals prediction. Let's go.
You know, it's so hard. I see what you're saying. It's so hard to say anything other than OKC. I can
You
see
got to
it.
remember this, though. You got to remember, Denver took them to 7 last year. They did.
They did.
They did.
Yeah. I think SGA steps up. I don't know. It's hard to see anybody other than OKC making it. I think that if it is OKC and the Knicks, I think the Knicks do give them a series. I don't think it would be, regular season's one thing. They didn't look great against them, but I think they really could kind of give them a series. I really think that's it is the most obvious one, and we don't always get that in the playoffs. I mean, we've seen that every year. Who's those surprise teams? But I think this is a year where the two most obvious answers find themselves in the finals. And one thing I wanted to throw in, if I can, real quick.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw this clip, but Mike Breen went up on his soapbox. I was right there with him about the media rights for the playoffs this year.
Yes.
And no MSG. I'm gonna be really upset to not hear Clyde on the calls in the playoffs this year. I think that's terrible. The NBA is making enough money. You can't give us a couple games on MSG and the local regional networks in the first round. But I saw Mike Breen went to bat for it. He said, look, he's obviously employed by ESPN. He kind of commented on that a little bit. But I want to throw that in there really quick because it'll be sad not having Clyde on the calls. But, ready to go.
Our good friend Jody saying, Kurt, pick with your mind, not your heart. I love Jody. Me and Jody are like this, baby. And you know what? We'll be celebrating. Listen, we got robbed last year because we all know, talk about another fraud team, the Drake May. You see, again, I say this, Ryan Miller, you're a Jet fan, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the Patriots. This was Drake May in the playoffs. He's like this with his hands. Like he wants no part of Denver. Listen to me. He got shot. They put him in. If Bo Nix is in that game, we win with a blizzard by 17 points easily. So this year, that team doesn't even worry me. That team might not win 9 games this year, so they don't worry. But we'll be celebrating this year because we should have won it last year, but we'll be winning this year. But you know what, Jody? The Knicks are the best team, man. They are. The Knicks are the best team. I'm sorry. And Mr. Kirkpatrick, you get the final prediction. So, Ryan, who are you picking?
Let's go Knicks over OKC in 7.
Kenny.
Real quick, I think we're going to have the same, but what was your pick again?
Over Denver.
New York over Denver? Yeah. You better say Knicks over Nuggets because people that are listening to the show and not realizing this is a Knicks show, turning in late, and you saying New York over Denver, they might think Broncos.
No. Knicks over Nuggets. I will correct that. Knicks over Nuggets.
I just want to clarify that for those out there that may be listening and later on not realizing it's a Knicks show, and you're saying New York over Denver. But I'm with you. For our people out there that are Denver fans of all sports, Patrick alluded earlier, Nuggets, Knicks will be fun. People are sleeping on the Nuggets. Jokic deserves every right to be MVP, and Wembanyama too. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, yes, but when I look at the other teams, these guys, Wembanyama and Jokic, have really carried their teams this year.
Yes,
and Jokic does it every year. Give me the Nuggets getting there. Or the Spurs, but I'm going to go Nuggets with Kurt. I'm going to be the exact same as Kurt on this pick. I'm taking the Knicks over the Nuggets, and it's going to go 7. And who would have the home court advantage in that one, Kurt? That would be a 3 seed versus a 3 seed.
Let me see. I'll double check because it goes by the standings, right? I mean, it does go by the standings. So let's say Knicks were 53, Denver 54. Denver gets the
by 1. Okay. I'll still go Knicks in 7. We won't get to celebrate it in the Garden, but we'll take it in Denver and we'll get that parade. And we can all hang out and have fun at the parade for sure.
Okay. Guys, let's do closing comments. Again, this is exciting, but no BS, Kenny. No one's getting frozen this year, Kenny.
Yeah,
nobody's getting because we're business. This is business now. This is business.
See, Ryan, you don't know Kurt as long as I know Kurt. It's business right now because we all believe the Knicks should get by the Hawks. We all believe the Celtics should get by. it turns into a dogfight round 2, Kurt's going to be doing a special freezer show. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, I can't guarantee that I won't. Right now, I'm not. But I can't guarantee that I won't. But you know what? Let's start with the guest. Give me your final thoughts, Mr. Miller.
I think you really began the show right on the right point. You know, it's finals or bust with this team. And like you said, you know, if not, then maybe we have those Greek freak conversations later. But oh man, I mean, what a great season it's been. It was a fun ride. You know, Mike Brown kind of probably exceeded my expectations a little bit with some of his, you know, he didn't have the stubbornness that Tibbs had at times. And I think, you know, I didn't want him fired last year. I understood it. I didn't love it, but I think that is going to be the difference for us. I think ultimately all these things we're talking about come down to those coaching adjustments, you know, ride the hot hand. I think the Knicks have enough of them. The team is deep enough that that's what I think is really going to be the difference maker this playoffs. The willingness from the coach to ride the hot hand, you know, check the egos aside. Say, you know what, Shamit's closing a game. Robinson's closing a game. McBride's closing a game. I think that's going to make the difference. I think the matchups are going to make all the difference, and we're going to be celebrating at that parade.
I'll go next, Kenny. You get the final word. You know, I mean this when I say this, is that, again, will I be yelling at the TV? Will Jen have to take Bo downstairs? Yeah, that's going to happen, because it's just the Knicks, like they trigger me in a way that just nothing else in my life triggers me except with these Knicks. Like even the Broncos, like the Knicks. And you know, I think it's the NBA players. I was talking with this with Jen. I think it's that, like, you know, you play on Saturday, then you're going to play Monday. And it's like, you're there, you're doing it for like a week and 7 games of this agony with this team. And I'm seeing, what's the guy's name? Oh my God, what's the point? TJ McConnell, just like in my dreams, like I see them for 7 and 10 days. And it's like, it just irates me. Like it's something about it. And then you talk about all the heartache from 94, 93, 99, and just, oh my God, being so close, and just one parade. And just, we haven't seen it in our lifetime. So of course I'm going to be fired up. Of course I'm going to be off the charts. The neighbors are going to be, of course I'm going to be like that. But in the end, you know, this team complained all they wanted. Please don't make changes. People calling up Alan Hahn. We don't want any changes. Don't trade for this guy. Give him a chance. You got one chance. Go do it. You're the most talented team. Go do it. Karl Anthony Towns, you want to be a Knick forever? Go do it. Bridges, you want to be a Knick? Go do it. Josh, do it. Do it. But if you don't, your ass is going to Milwaukee, because we're going to get him. And listen, Kenny, when I tell you this, I don't care what it costs if it gets to that. Anybody but 11. Anybody. I don't care. Get rid of them, because this should be a walk to the finals. And then you know what? You got to go 4-3. We don't got to go 7-0, Kenny, Ryan. We don't have to go 6-1. You got to go 4-3. And you know what? I don't care who's in your way when you get there. Go 4-3. And then you know what? You guys all come back for banner night next year. But if it don't, so to me, parade or Giannis. But you know what? Let's go get that parade. Kenny, you got the final word. There's Mark Calderio. Let's go Knicks. Now we can end the show.
Mark and Ernie saying hello. What's up, Ernie? Here's your boy Ernie. And Mark saying hello. Well, Kurt, I got homework for you, because...
Well, Ernie's saying hello, Jen. You know, Jen's not on the show, is she?
No. he's a big Bronco fan.
Let's
so
go, Ernie. Let's go, baby.
No, great show, Ryan. Awesome to have you again. Don't want to jump to the next round, but we will be doing a show next round if the Knicks get there. And Kurt, I'm giving you homework. When we clinch and get to the next round, when we win that game, you got to invite Alan Hahn on here.
Okay.
You and him get along really well. I know you call in a lot there, and he's fired up when you call in over there. You have me listening.
Kenny, no, you were with me down the. Did I get down the shore with him?
Yep.
And who else did we call up?
Michael K.
And what did Michael K do to me?
Hung up on you.
Hung up on He did.
Get fired up. Alan Hahn likes when you call up, but he's been on our show before. I think he would remember you for sure. Invite him on. The four of us, we can have a really fun show with Alan Hahn next round against the Celtics. So let's make it happen. Great job. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This was fun doing the Knicks show. And, let's hope it's a win situation. And that's what we're doing next week. And we're not into, week and a half, I would say, and not doing a season recap show. I don't want to do that just yet.
And Kenny, you know what though, too? Like, I think we're not going to win this series by 30 points every game. It's not, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be, listen, they're going to, when they go back to Atlanta, they're going to be hitting threes. Like it always happens like that. So listen, just stay the course. Let's just it doesn't matter how we win. We just get through.
Everybody have a great night. Go Knicks. Saturday, game 1. And we'll see everybody soon for another episode of New York Knicks. What do we call it? Show K&K Sports Show, Knicks show.
Playoff show.
Let's go. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys.